We're back in the Universal groove. Sunday afternoon, Universal Orlando Resort, in before the rain. We are primarily here today to check out park updates, mostly around Halloween Horror Nights, but also want to see what they got going on for the Olympics. I believe that Universal is like an official watch area for the Olympics, at least according to reporting from our fine friend at Wesh TV, Jason Guy, on Friday morning. Said that they were doing stuff over here starting Saturday morning, I believe. There you go. You have some stuff happening at NBC Grilled Cheese Brew. We've got some Olympic stuff happening on the screens outside as well as inside. And I believe there's other stuff happening in the park. To give an idea about the Olympics, I'm so sucked into this thing that besides the opening ceremonies on Friday, I pretty much spent all morning, all afternoon, all night last night watching whatever was on, and just sucked into the point of actually just falling asleep with the Olympics on. So in any event, go Team USA, or go whichever country you are supporting. It's a great time of year. Before we go into the park, we're gonna hit Will Call here first to pick up Halloween Horror Night stuff. So actually the Will Call machine outside, not working. Universal matching SeaWorld and levels of customer service. We'll have to hit guest services on the way in. Alright, so actually guest services line was enormous. So we're just gonna head into the park and let's start talking about Halloween Horror Nights. This past week brought closure to all of the outstanding announcements that we were waiting for Halloween Horror Nights. We have all of our houses, all of our scare zones. As you come into the park this year, this was the Dr. Oddfellow zone last year, but this year, this will be the Duality of Fear. The Duality of Fear, more or less, the icons for the event this year. You have to choose a path. You could follow Sinister with a numerical 3 in the wording, or follow Surreal, also with a 3. I remember when we lived in New York and we would go down by like Coney Island, and the stores down there, like the Russian writing had like the number 3 and things.
Yeah, because it's
just funny. Russian icons. But it's basically, you must choose a path. Follow Sinister, the manifestation of visceral horror, or follow Surreal, the incarnation of unearthly terror. That's a really difficult thing to say.
that whole line.
I'm not gonna lie, it took like 3 takes. And we come up here into Hollywood, we're gonna have the Scream Queens. It's not Svengoolie or Gwengoolie or Elvira or anything cool like that.
We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live! Fuck it!
Correction, it's actually Demon Queens.
Oh, I was going to say Scream Queens.
Demon Queens. The Demon Queens get caught in an otherworldly hellscape ripped from the darkest corners of your mind. 4 merciless queens loyal to Surreal with a 3. Surrounded by hordes of fanatical followers. They're fanatical.
I want to be a fanatical follower.
There's no numeral in there, though. You should put it like a 4 instead of the A. Let's just forget about letters. Let's just do everything numbers. So as far as construction for the zone, what we have out here so far, pretty much lights. Got a bunch of lights, as you can see up top. And speakers. And more speakers. I'm thinking that in these zones, like the streets of Hollywood, and probably also streets in New York, probably very little static props, and that's due to the need for the parade to come in and out and not crash. Beetlejuice.
Anybody want a donut?
Oh, I'll take one. Beetlejuice. You have a new movie coming out.
That's right, September 6th. Get your tickets now.
But they're totally screwing you here on the Halloween Horror Nights.
Well, you know how it works. You know your way around Halloween Horror Nights. We don't repeat houses. We do not repeat houses, all right? So, I mean, once I have one awesome house, they just don't repeat it unless they'll probably do one after Beetlejuice 2, right? Am I right?
Right, you're right.
Don't hold me to that, though.
Can we squeeze you in somewhere, though?
You mean having me out there?
Yeah, somewhere.
I would be so popular that all the houses would not have any lines.
That's true.
That's right.
Let's see if there's any new merch in the 5 and dime. Oh my God, there is air conditioning, that's for sure. Oh, scented candles.
What does it smell like?
What does the further smell like?
Actually, that smells good.
Ooh. I would not mind if a demon abducted me if their house smelled like this. I will say, like, that photo of the demon kind of looks like Freddy Krueger. We still have the remainder of the Halloween Horror Nights pre-event merch. At the tribute store for summer, they did add the capability now to be able to get t-shirts with Mr. Tape on it. So we are walking up towards the park where Swamp of the Dead will be, but I'm going to make a detour over here for a second. There are a bunch of lights over here in what we've called the Creed Scare Zone for like the last 10 years. This is where they filmed Creed music video. But right over here, in the back, at least, that's where the new Lagoon show takes place. Cine Spectacular. It's amazing if you haven't seen that yet. But they will be building a bar here for Halloween Horror Nights. But it may be a little more than just a bar this year. Maybe. I'm just wondering if maybe BJ knew anything more about that particular bar. And we've come up to the Swamp of the Undead. This is going to take place in Louisiana with some zombies in the swamp. So you got lighting up here, and the trusses are covered, and more lighting. And some barrels. Barrels of fun. Some more props here, pardon our dust. Oh, like a little boat sticking out of the water. I don't think that these are sturdy enough for people to stand on, but it's a platform here. Maybe they'll have stuff underneath it because of swampy type area. I also don't know how they'll create the swamp here. If you'll get a traditional laser fog type swamp. There's a speaker down there, by the way. So, oh, and look at this house. That's cool. You might be able to do like a nice fire effect over there. I don't know what this is for. Like maybe another rope bridge to go somewhere else, or a ladder to get in and out. But there we go. It's a rock.
Oh, it's another boat.
Oh.
It's the other part of the
Boat.
other boat.
Oh, split in half, quite a long distance away from the other half.
Oh, here goes
Yeah. Well, here's another boat over here, and a platform that's jacked up, and some fencing because it's Louisiana. Yeah, and window shutter, or a door, I guess, for short people. How bit tall is this person if this is a door?
It's like a closet door. Look, there's hinges.
Yeah, but look at how tall.
If it's taller than me. It's
This is like 5 feet tall.
That's our doors.
There's going to be short zombies in this zone.
There's another boat.
We're just going to call that the Short King Zombie Zone from now on. It's a door for short kings. Coming up into Springfield. I don't think anything's happening here for Halloween Horror Nights this year. Nothing's really happened here for the last few years. Gone are the good old days of the clown chainsaws back here. Duffman says. That was definitely a window shutter.
No.
Literally my eyes looking at the calendar and realizing that Halloween Horror Nights is just a month away. So when we make our way back here by the Coca-Cola building and these entrances that have been used forever for Halloween Horror Nights, you have 4 houses back here this year. There's new buildings or new pop-up buildings that they'll be utilizing. You get Slaughter Cinema 2, which is probably my most hyped for the year as far as original houses go. Goblin's Feast. I don't know where that woman is going. She's just hopping over the fence. Museum of Deadly Exhibits. And newly announced this week, you have Universal Monsters Eternal Bloodlines. The entrance to Universal Monsters is going to be back here to the left of Men in Black and to the right of the stage show. I would say the theme for the house is a little bit of a reach for Universal Monsters at least. I think the bulk of Halloween Horror Nights fans were forever waiting for a Creature of the Black Lagoon house to materialize. But instead we're getting Saskia Van Helsing and the Bride of Frankenstein fighting Dracula's daughter and her monstrous mavens. So to the left of where the entrance is for Monsters, you're going to come up to the show. Back again this year, Nightmare Fuel. Everyone that keeps getting their hopes up for Bill and Ted to return just has them thrashed. Instead, you got the signage out here, or it'll be here shortly. Nightmare Fuel again. You have more pathway lighting up here heading into London. And we're gonna head through London to get to Diagon Alley. And back in Diagon Alley for Halloween Horror Nights again this year. It'll be the return of the Death Eaters. So we have a little platform stage here. This is like one of the surprise hits of Halloween Horror Nights last year, at least for me. Death Eaters repeatedly show up throughout the night and kind of run through the entirety of Diagon Alley. They are surprisingly intimidating during the Halloween Horror Nights event. We saw them engaging with guests last year and scaring them to the point where guests were running away in fear. Got some more props out here for the Death Eaters. Fog machines, lights, speakers. Sadly, there is no Bellatrix during Halloween Horror Nights. It's funny, I don't remember ever seeing this back here before, but maybe I haven't been back here in a minute. By the way, pro tip, during the summertime or even Halloween Horror Nights, during the day, if it's too hot, Nocturne Alley inside Diagon Alley, top rated place to stay. Shade and air conditioning. And so we've made it out of Diagon Alley, exiting London, and coming up to our next scare zone in San Francisco. This is always the most difficult to navigate through because it's so tight. That's what she said. This is the Blumhouse scare zone. As of the time of this recording, they haven't announced anything further than saying this is going to be a Blumhouse scare zone, but you can see that there's some platforms here, little stages, BH for Bagul's house. BH again, these little stages likely due to have characters from all of your favorite Blumhouse movies in them. Probably some photo op-y type things, and as you walk by, I don't know how you would possibly be scared by someone standing on this platform, but they'll be on display here. Having said that, Megan is part of Blumhouse. They're working on the second film, Megan's or whatever, and you know. And honestly, last year Megan was probably the most popular thing at Halloween Horror Nights outside of David S. Pumpkins. But they had Megan's as a pop-up with some dance routines. If they could have Megan on the stage this year, just there for like photo ops and stuff, it's going to be jam-packed. We got a lot of lighting up and around here too. Keep in mind, Blumhouse also responsible for the recent Halloween movies too. Maybe you have Michael Myers here. Maybe Bagul. Oh, Bagul, you've done it again. And so, Blumhouse. It's pretty interesting that they have the stage set up over here too. So, heading back, Bruce the shark is back there. So you have one Blumhouse stage here, another one on the other end of the zone. Chez Alcatraz still under construction, and behind these construction walls for Chez Alcatraz is Bruce the shark. He's back here somewhere. There he is. I assure you, he's there. Don't you think they should have done like maybe a Jaws haunted house or a scare zone at some point?
That would be pretty cool.
But in any event, Blumhouse. As we're still in San Francisco, Fast and Furious ride back there. The haunted house that'll be inside Fast and Furious this year will be Major Sweets Candy Factory. Are you looking forward to Major Sweets Candy Factory?
Yes, I am. A lot of good treats.
Will he still look like Wario this year?
I don't know. Maybe.
Hey, the Beat Builders are back. Coming up into New York, this is going to be the Torture Fair scare zone. Think of an evil Ren Fair. This will be themed after the icon Sinister with a 3. Oh my god, save that chef. And again, the new parade goes through these streets over here, so not a lot of props out, but we do have a stage here for the Ren Fair.
What kind of
Like Mary said, the set design is small. It has to be small. It can't protrude into the streets because we need the floats to be able to go in and out and not crash. But you have some lights hanging up above also, so like different colored light bulbs on the string lights. Kind of similar to what they did when they had Zombieland here. Now if we talk about haunted houses that are at the front of the park, you're starting off with Triplets of Terror over here. Triplets of Terror, my understanding, replacement house for another property that couldn't be executed here this year. Without giving away the name, there is a certain acronym that their fans use. Also, the actor may have played a different character that's represented in this park during the day. Do it again.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Rut-row. And then back behind these buildings in the stages, we have Insidious, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, A Quiet Place, and Monstrous, the Monsters of Latin America. Out of all of the IP houses this year, which one are you looking forward to the most?
Quiet Place.
Say it quieter. Me too. I think A Quiet Place is either going to be a smash hit or a disaster. But I'm going to err on the side of being positive and say smash hit. All right, so we made it to the front of the park, and here we go, a Taste of Paris. We have the Olympic stuff going on over here. For the Olympics, we have special hamburgers, French fries, mocktails, cocktails.
With that new spice coat.
Oh, lots of photo ops. And also, you can watch the Olympics on the TVs. There's the area here from Coca-Cola for all the cocktails and mocktails and the food items. We have a little cool zone here with some cooling fans if you're watching big screen. Got soccer or football going on up there. I don't know why this particular area is blocked off, but don't even think about going there. And they have stuff up on the stage too. No sign of any of the guys from Wesh being here though. We're gonna meander over to Islands for a moment. The adventure begins. Meow. We're just making a quick side trip because we've seen Deadpool twice over the last 3 days. And we also saw the Marvel news from San Diego Comic-Con last night. So without any spoilers, if you know, you know. First thing up, a little interesting. We've got heroes back here. Back behind Dr. Doom's Freefall. Dr. Doom might be very popular over the next couple of years. Oh dear. The villains. They may be coming. Whoa, they're playing Disturbed in this zone now. I don't think they've ever done that before. Just looking around for Robert Downey Jr. No particular reason. Just wondering if anyone has seen him at all lately. Well, no sign of Robert Downey Jr., but there's Wolverine. All right, Universal. Unless that store up ahead. There's plenty of lightning from the sky and storms coming this way, so we're gonna make our way over to the parking garage. All right, so what non-IP house are you looking forward to the most?
Either the Sweets House or Slaughter Cinema.
Slaughter Cinema all the way. Are you excited about any of the scare zones?
Yes, the Ren Fair.
Well, that seems like it could be fun. We do a lot of Ren Fair stuff every year.
That's why I'm excited, because I want to see the alternate versions of what a Ren Fair is.
Yeah, that could be cool. I guess Blumhouse for me. More Bagul. All the Bagul. Everything Bagul. With a cup of coffee. Bacon, egg, and cheese Bagul. Bagul with the schmear of cream cheese. Alright, so we're going to get ready to get out of here, but a few last notes on Halloween Horror Nights at least. There's no way to dance around the fact that I think that this year is probably the weakest year of Halloween Horror Nights that we've had, at least since Halloween Horror Nights 25, which going back some time ago. I think we really reached a peak during that year. 26 was kind of just coming over the top, if you think of like a top hat roller coaster, just starting the downslope, and then we've kind of had some years with some meaty stuff in it, and then some years where it's really not so great. Last year, I think the originals were really strong.
Originals
right?
were
So
really
like,
good.
This year, you know what you're normally looking for year over year is you're looking for like IP houses to bring the masses in, right? So like Joe Public wants to see a TV commercial and they're like, oh my God, like they have It, you know, at Halloween Horror Nights this year. I can't wait to see Pennywise, or I can't wait to see Reagan from The Exorcist, or whatever it is. And this year, honestly, the IPs, I mean, you could look at some things at face value. Ghostbusters is a huge IP to get, but it's not scary.
No, it's going to be
this
fun.
is the second time that we've done Ghostbusters here. The first time was the original Ghostbusters, like 1984 Ghostbusters, and it was a fun walkthrough. I know, like, every time we went through and I gave a review and I said, like, I'll never get tired of it. I honestly never would get tired of it because it's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Great scenery, great characters, just fun.
This year, I'll get more light here. This year, we have Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, which I liked that movie a lot. I watched it twice in the movie theater, although I will say the first time I thoroughly, like, over the top enjoyed it. The second time I went with Mary, I was like, oh, there were, like,
He picked it apart.
cringe segments in here and stuff. But it's a great movie. Again, it's not scary. And I'm interested to always see Ghostbusters, but it's not a scary property. Insidious, I know we have friends that's their number one most hyped house for the year. I like the Insidious franchise, but I think the movies progressively have gotten worse
yes.
year over year. And we watched that last movie, and I got to the end, and I was like, holy shit, dude, I can't wait for this to be over.
The original is fantastic.
Yeah, but this is not based off of the original.
I know.
So this is the most recent movie. It'll be fun. It'll be scary, but
It'll be scary for the people who get scared.
A Quiet Place is also polarizing. You know, it's based off the first two movies. The last movie that was just out, I thought was fantastic. I think there's just such an amount of haters for A Quiet Place as a franchise, and I mean, I don't get it. I think it's a thriller, right? Like you're
suspense.
Yeah, suspenseful thriller. I don't know how they're going to be able to pull it off, but I am really genuinely hoping that everyone that goes through is super quiet, and then, you know, I'm guessing that like the actors probably make a noise, and then you see like a monster come and grab them or something. You know, I'd love to see like bungee monsters or something.
Maybe they'll walk around and go, shh, and then all of a sudden someone gets eaten.
The only other thing I was thinking about with A Quiet Place is the Saturday Night Live skit with Donald Glover.
Oh my God, that's really funny.
You know,
where
like
they all get taken into
a Kanye place, like. So I will forever be thinking of that as I go through the house every year, or each time this year. Hopefully now you guys are going to be stuck with that in your head too.
Go look it up.
Yeah,
it's fun.
So the scare zones, I think, have been a miss year over year for the last few years. There's been some good zones, like. I want to say the last real zone that I really loved was the heavy metal witches a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah, those were good by the in front of
with like the
cars,
kind of like the demons and stuff by Fast and Furious.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Those are cool. But there was a whole story going on.
But we've gone back to the well year over year with these vamps scare zones and stuff too, and. It's not necessarily scary. If you watch the video that I think we just hopefully have uploaded before you see this about Busch Gardens scare zones, they're scary. Scare zones are meant to be scary. It literally has the word scary.
And there's people in the bushes that scare the crap. I get scared every single time I go.
Yeah, so there's that. And then the only last thing about the ticket fiasco that they had this year, because I think for as weak as the event is, the demand for tickets is through the roof. They sold out of any type of multi-night ticket with Express within hours of tickets going on sale. And they didn't announce the tickets were going on sale, and then they didn't announce that they were close to selling out. So if you bought tickets with Express, we did, then you're set and you're lucky. If not, the goal for Universal, for once, we've criticized them for years that they do a horrible job at making money, and there's so many more ways that they can make money. Now they're finally going to be able to find a way to make money. So if you've got tickets, multi-night tickets for a night, and it's super jam-packed, they're going to want you to buy a single night express ticket to go with that. And they always usually sell like express like after 10 or 11 or whatever, it's cheaper. But it's going to be costly. There's like $200 for like express add-on to be able to get in. It only gets you one entrance into.
And the cost changes. Depending on the day you're there.
Yeah, for sure. So we did buy our tickets. But I totally sympathize with the folks that got blindsided, and they were like, "Hey, I normally buy my tickets like whenever." And
if you were at work and you couldn't get to buy it, I feel really horrible.
We normally have our Halloween Horror Nights fund that we save money towards every year for tickets and first night hotel and stuff too to go. And so like, we had that set aside. So as soon as we saw tickets on sale in the morning, we bought stuff so that it kind of. Not a concern. The only last thing that I'd say, they're doing the premium scare event, and I was super down on that event. I still am down on it. Basically what it is the night before opening night, they're selling a limited amount of tickets, and when I've said limited before, I think it's like half the capacity of what it normally is, so there's still going to be sizable lines, but they're going to pulse you in the houses, which is what they do, honestly, at SeaWorld, Hollow Scream, or Busch Gardens Hollow Scream, or like pretty much any other independent haunt that you're going to.
But they can.
Yeah, HHN is pretty much the only haunt that I know that everyone just daisy chains through the entire house, or like, conga lines through the house. You don't get scared at Halloween Horror Nights as a result, because you're seeing the same scare like, a dozen times as you're waiting in line to go through stuff. But the pulsing of people through should be a benefit. That ticket also includes unlimited food items, whatever they're actually serving, because there's going to be a select amount.
I think it's unlimited, like, samples.
No, it's full size. Food? Yeah, it's full size items. The only items that they've announced so far is like pizza fries, something to do with beets, and a candy apple with like Oreos inside of the candy apple. But I'm sure they'll have other items too. They normally announce that like the week before. It doesn't include alcoholic beverages. My stance on this was like an absolute pass all along, but we do have Paul coming into town from IOM Geek. Part of the Halloween Horror Nights experience, or pretty much the gist of Halloween Horror Nights experience for me at this point, is spending time with family and friends. And therefore we made a decision, like, I'm going to do the premium night event and go just through the stuff with Paul too.
Yeah, well, not me or Jess. No.
Yeah, so I will be there that night and seeing like what's going on and stuff. I do think we're basically paying for like a dress rehearsal type of thing, right? But I had that money to be able to spend for that event when Paul is here, so I figured it was something to do while he's here. And we'll report out on what it is. And you're going to get the honest feedback of the way things are too, because I think the most part, like, there's going to be a lot of other media or wannabe media people there that are going to give you the super syrupy, happy-go-lucky, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread type of review. And for me, you're going to get a cut and dry, honest feedback of how things are. Last year's event, Crash and Burn, they did a food tasting event, food sampling. It didn't really make it past the first week without it kind of petering off and it just being canceled before they had tried to lower the price and then offer different versions of it and stuff. And this particular event, for as limited as it is, they have been hawking this nonstop online, as well as through email communications and from some of the folks that we know that are running the event that are asking what would be more enticing for people to be able to buy into it. So we will see how it goes. But that's thoughts on Halloween Horror Nights. That's construction Halloween Horror Nights. That's the Olympics. That's everything that's going on in the park. We did not see Dr. Doom today, so that was a giant bummer. I was hoping to take a picture with him. We were hoping to find if Robert Downey Jr. had snuck into the park or not. So we're getting out of here. Thanks a lot for coming along. Thank you very much for all of your likes, comments, and subscriptions. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Have a great day. We'll see you guys. Subscribe to the cheap seats, or he's going to kill me.